The Bliss Business Podcast, the show about empathy, connection, and consciousness in business. Today's episode is brought to you by Zero Company, your paid search, social media, and programmatic ad experts.
Welcome back to the Bliss Business Podcast series, Scaling with Purpose. These are our quick listen podcast shows where we explore how to embed purpose into every level of your organization. I'm Stephen Skash here with Tulio Siragusa and Ash Mar. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Back. Let's do this.
Let's do it. So today we're diving into developing a purpose-focused onboarding process. So we'll share some actionable tips to help ensure that new employees feel deeply connected to your company's vision from day one. Let's get started. Kick us off, Ash.
So onboarding is such a critical phase in the employee's journey. It's the first real impression they have of your company. Not only are they going to understand their role for the company, but at the same time, they're going to understand how they fit into the bigger picture. So it's such a well-structured onboarding process, sets the employee up with a good start. They're going to get what they know what they need to do, but also they know that they're a part of a bigger alignment, a bigger purpose.
And you know what? It's not just words. There are studies today that show that employees who feel connected to their company's purpose are, one, more engaged, two, more productive, and three, they're more likely to stay in the long run, which is probably the biggest challenges organizations have, keeping employees engaged, keeping them productive, keeping them from quiet quitting, and staying long term. So there's studies that show when employees are connected to the purpose, these things improve. And purpose, so it isn't just something you talk about in the interview. So it's not like, let's check that off. We talked about it. It's really needs to be woven into the experience from the moment someone goes through the process of being interviewed all the way to the moment that they join the organization. And so without that connection, then new employees might struggle, might have a hard time seeing how their work aligns with the company's mission. And that's not a good feeling, especially when someone just joined an organization. So it's important that during the onboarding, there's a difference made in their experience. There's a bridge that's built to essentially eliminate the gap between their individual contribution and the organization's broader vision. That's the key thing. You're bridging the gap between these two, and the onboarding is critical to doing it correctly. And you've got to highlight, again, the purpose and make it part of the fabric of why they're here, sort of thing.
Yeah. I think most people, when they think about onboarding, they're thinking about training a lot of times. Okay, we've got to get through, this manual or something like that and all these steps. But it's really, the key here is about culture building. So this is an opportunity to embed purpose as part of the employee's identity within the organization. So you're ensuring that you've got alignment from the start. So let's dive into some strategies to make that onboarding process purpose-driven. Ash, take us through some practical steps here.
Absolutely. Well, step one is start with a purpose-driven welcome. Okay. Begin the onboarding process by sharing the company's purpose in an authentic way. This could be a video from the CEO welcoming the new hire to the team, sharing a story about how everything started, and just kind of like bringing people up to speed to the culture and what we're all about. Step two is connect the person's role to purpose early. And in the first few days, take time to show new hires how their specific roles actually contribute to the big picture. For example, let's just take the financial advising role. When you know that you're helping people with their financial situation, well, that's something that's purposeful, right? We're trying to help as many people as possible. So when you're doing this role, and let's just say it's a branding position, you positioning us in a way that helps us connect with people that need that help is the higher purpose. Versus just saying, hey, you're posting on social media, that's your job, go ahead and do that, right? So, but yeah, that means that you really want to connect that person early to the bigger picture, not just so much, hey, you're just doing this job. No, your job is actually helping us help more individuals or whatever your North Star is.
Yeah, I think it's all about creating that connection early so they can see how their work makes a difference. Tulio, what other purpose-related onboarding tips?
Yeah, I was also going to mention, to add to that a little bit, that it also holds true even with vendors and contractors you hire, right? Because you might bring them in and say, okay, this is what we need to do, but we're not sharing the context behind it or how you got there, how that was part of the whole alignment towards the company's purpose, they're going to feel disconnected, and you don't want even the vendor to feel disconnected. You want to bring them into it. So there's some things that can be done in terms of like some rituals, like onboarding is really a good time to do some purpose-driven rituals. These might include like starting team meeting with purpose reflections, maybe sharing some impact metrics or stories during the onboarding session. And you can do this with scheduling time with the person you're onboarding with different members of the organization that can share this with them, or you can be purposeful during team meetings because you've just onboarded someone new. Maybe be more purposeful about it. Not only will they benefit, but so will the rest of the team with reminders. And then the key thing is pairing new hires with mentors who embodies those company values. And the mentor doesn't have to be a leader in the organization. It could be a peer, but they embody those values, and then giving them access to that mentor is so key. So the rituals really do help to reinforce the culture. And then the other thing that can be done is create opportunities early on for like purposeful wins. So give the new hires a chance to contribute to the purpose very early on. Let them have some wins, something they can get excited about. Maybe assign them a project or a task that directly ties to the organization's mission. This not only builds their confidence, but it reinforces their connection to the purpose. Nothing is better than giving someone a quick win when they first start with the organization. So, for example, a sustainability-focused company might have a new employee participate in an environmental project during their very first month. Like just throw them right into something that really embodies the company's purpose. So you got to be intentional about it. That's the key thing.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like when employees can see the impact of their contributions right away, it kind of builds momentum and strengthens that their sense of belonging, right? So Ash, is there anything we can do here to measure success?
Well, absolutely. Start by gathering feedback from the new hires. Here, we took some notes on some of the questions you could ask. For example, how well do you understand the company's purpose? Do you feel connected to the mission and vision? This feedback can highlight areas where your purpose might need improvement. But just those two simple questions alone, after they were going through the whole process, if they're still kind of like, oh, well, I kind of get what you guys do or what you guys are all about. I get what you do, but kind of get what you're all about. You didn't accomplish your goal of bringing that person in. So kind of getting that feedback really helps to see, okay, do we align this person? If this person, they're already aligned with us, do we align them even further? Are they bought into the mission?
And there's some other things that can be done too, Ash. Like, for example, looking at metrics like retention rates for new hires on how engaged they are in the first 90 days. There's a way to measure that as well. That's a great indicator that they're being onboarded correctly and that they're aligning around the purpose. If you miss this in the first 90 days, then it's kind of like it's hard to get that person to feel like I made a good choice. And it's a terrible feeling because in that moment, if they're already planning, I'll put in a few years and then I'll move somewhere else. And that happens. You don't want that to happen. So you want to give them a quick win, but also create a process to measure how engaged they are and course correct to help them course correct if they're not. Onboarding isn't a one thing, one and done activity. We just got them on board, gave them the tools, give them access to the mentor, done. No, so it's an ongoing opportunity to refine and reinforce your purpose-driven culture. And that needs to be at the forefront of this. Not even so much how do they fit into the team and project. It's more about are they aligning around what we're doing, why we're here. It's so important, especially in those first 90 days, to do that and to do it effectively.
Yeah, exactly. So to recap, a purpose-focused onboarding process kind of ensures that employees feel connected to your vision from the very beginning. So there are key steps here. Start with that purpose-driven welcome, connect roles to purpose early, introduce purpose-aligned practices and rituals, and create opportunities for early purposeful wins. So when onboarding is done right, it's not just about teaching, the logistics of the role. It's about building that sense of belonging and alignment with your mission. Next time, we'll discuss how purpose fuels innovation. So exploring how a strong sense of purpose drives creativity and new ideas across an organization. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with others, and we'll see you next time on the Bliss Business Podcast.